Hi everyone, it's Kasia from Tarot Map. So I'm ready finally to show you the Carnival at the end of the World Tarot. I have to say it's really hot in Europe. Seriously, every day we have like 30 degrees and over. And this weather just makes me wanna sleep, watch shitty movies and don't get out of bed, but in the sense that I definitely don't feel like working. So it's been a little bit lazy here on my end, but this deck arrived maybe 2 weeks ago, and yeah, I just want to show it to you because there is not too much out there on this deck still, and I'm pretty sure you can purchase this. I've ordered this one on Kickstarter, so it was a Kickstarter deck. It's by this Khan and Selesnik, and it was made in Taiwan. So it comes in the tag box. I love the backing, it's very cool. When it comes to the paper, it feels similar to the Pagan Other Worlds. It's definitely this linen kind of, a little bit of plasticky feel to it. So it's got the linen, you know, finish to it. You can see it here on the cards. It's very slippery. So if you put that, you know, it's like it's slippery and it shuffles really well. So if you like riffle shuffled decks, this one it's going to be very cool for shuffling, and it doesn't. I think it's not going to bend. You can do the bridge easily. Also, didn't work right now, but you know what I mean. It's very good. It's well done. Definitely a good investment of money, and my copy was really very cheap. So I'm just going to show you all the cards. I start with the extra cards because the Kickstarter campaign was well funded and they did some extra cards. So let's start with this. So this is Tempest, Madame Lulu. So it's a very strange deck, the Deluge or Deluge, I don't know how to pronounce it properly. The deck is called the Carnival at the End of the World. So, and the extra cards have to do with, you know, like some maybe events in nature, like floods and fires, and how we as humans, you know, tend to destroy our natural world and still party on. And I'm going to show you now. These cards are not in order because I keep using this deck, but these are the cards that I really like. So some of my favorite images from this deck. I don't know how to do it best, maybe just like this. So this is the King of Cups. I love his face and the cup on the top of his head, and the eyes are very soulful, you know, and all the cups chords are quite nice actually. I like it. I like them. But the deck is very dreamy. It's very out there. It's not your usual tarot deck. It's definitely not a good deck for beginners, I think. It's definitely a best deck for like intuition readings, and when you're an intuitive reader or you practice intuition, then that's a great deck to play with. So this is Page of Cups. But if you're learning tarot, it's going to be really difficult to read with this one. Especially if you want to also learn about tarot system, because this is a very free kind of association with tarot deck, with Rider-Waite-Smith system. You, of course, if you know the tarot system, you can see where it comes from, right? But it's not the easiest deck to read if you want to read it as strict tarot deck. So the images are very fantastical. There's a lot of strange creatures. Nothing in the deck resembles traditional kind of depictions of the cards. And this Hangman, it's pretty cool. So some of the cards are more than others, resembling the traditional archetypes and images from the tarot, but most of the images are totally, you know, free flow. sometimes they pick certain image, like here in the Judgment, they picked the trumpet, you know, and they showed it quite cool, I thought. But yeah, I was reading with this deck, and it reads well actually, but I totally let go of reading it as tarot. I look at colors. If I combine few cards, I look at colors, repetition of the symbols. So I totally view it, read it intuitively in this case. I think it's, from what I saw, it's a great deck for like, you know, a creative input, like what can I, or how can I, and then you get these strange images, but in some weird way it does open my intuition, and you know, it's a cool deck to have in the collection because it's totally different. I actually like this King of Swords. You can't go wrong with this guy. So yeah, it's an interesting deck, and as soon as I saw it, I knew I'm going to like it. If you like theater, if you like telling stories, if you like creative use of tarot, you can definitely make a use of this deck. Love this Queen of Swords. She's cool. But as I said, if you're not so open to newness in tarot, this might be not a deck for you. It's very dreamy. I think it will be very cool for dream work, or yeah, just practicing reading intuitive tarot. And this is the rest of the deck. And so here we have the Sun. Everything is a little bit kind of off in this deck. It's, you know, it's not like a pretty images. In the end, it's the Carnival at the end of the world. So it's, you know, broken sun and everything that's kind of, you know, it kind of alerts you that something is off, something is not right. I think it might be a cool deck for shadow readings too. But for me, it just worked quite well when I was using it as a second tarot deck. Adding, this is actually a cool image, adding it to a more regular tarot deck and expanding the natural and systematic meanings of tarot cards into some more diverse, creative approach. Some of the cards, you know, like Page of Wands, I don't know, it kind of reminds me more of earth element than wands, so more of pentacles or something grounded, but you know, everybody has their own vision. There is a few cards that I don't get in this deck, but isn't it true for every and each deck of tarot that we get? There's always this one or two cards. But yeah, it has a bit of a steampunkish, a bit of fantastical feel to it. It's definitely full of strange characters, so if you expect regular humans, you won't find them in this deck, even though it has a lot of human kind of postures and characters in them, but they all dressed up. They all kind of have this feel of new circus, you know, performance kind of feel. And maybe sometimes it's cool to do, maybe it will be a great deck for shadow work because it kind of lets you move like into this archetypal world of different characters, and maybe sometimes it's easier to let your brain kind of go somewhere to associate certain type of like quality in a deck like this than seeing regular human beings and stuff. Might be easier to, you know, let your imagination roam free. This is Four of Cups, for example. So this hanging figure. And I'm not sure how I want to read that. It's like Humpty Dumpty, Knave of Swords. And so I let you decide for yourself what you think about it. I'm actually really curious about your opinion about this deck. As I said, I find it quite intriguing, but it's not going to be a deck. It's a little bit, recently we spoke on Love for Love of Cards group about Tildwick Tarot, and it has a little bit of similar vibe to how I use Tildwick. So I use Tildwick in a very specific way. Usually it's a deck that I definitely don't read for other people with, that I have to, you know, pick every card and check out exactly what it shows. It's very intimate and deep, and kind of Christine and Celeste, she said that it's like a great deck for portal work. So maybe good. I might use it just for this new moon in Leo tomorrow. But this one is similar in the sense that it's definitely not a deck I'm going to be using for other people unless they artists and they want to, you know, get inspired by some creative imagery. But for myself, like, I definitely love working with tarot on many different levels and aspects, and this creative aspect is very often how I use tarot in general. This is weird. Queen of Wands. I don't know. You tell me. So yes, it's exactly, it's like whenever I get a response though from an image, I love to, you know, sit with it, do a meditation with it, do a path working or creative writing exercises with it. And this deck suits itself very well for creative work like that, because it has it invites you into another world. It invites you to check out some, you know, some strange world, which very strange characters inhabit, and see how you fit in it or what that means for you. They're a little bit like dream images that, you know, come alive when you do a spread or something like that. So I don't treat this deck so fully like, as I said, systematic as tarot per se, but more like just a deck with images where I can add tarot meanings to the cards if I need to. So that's Tower, for example. So yes, it's quite an interesting out there deck. So built like regular tarot deck, 78 cards plus those extra 6 cards, and an invitation to visit a very strange world with strange images, and yet pretty cool. As I said, well made, feels good. For people who don't like the linen finish, it is linen finish, so you have to be aware of it. How cool is that moon? I just love it. And yeah, so Carnival at the end of the World Tarot. I hope you enjoyed it, and let me know what you think about it. I'm curious. Thanks for watching. Bye.